She'd never imagined a hogmanay thrash like this, never mind that she'd be invited to it. Growing up in a lochside hamlet on the edge of the Trossachs, of course the year-end had always been celebrated, though on a scale that reflected village life. But this? The midnight fireworks alone were legendary. She couldn't conjure up a notion of what the everyday life of these people must be like, given this was what they considered a party should be. For a start, there had been a queue of taxis and honestly limos waiting at the gates to be admitted. There was actually a stretch Hummer. Even as she marvelled at it, the sensible part of her thought it was the most ridiculous thing she'd ever seen on wheels. To get through the gates, she had to produce her invitation, as well as the photo ID she'd been told to bring. She'd thought that was a joke. Fancy having to bring your passport to a party. She'd leaned back in the taxi as it drove sedately down a wide gravel drive that swept between perfectly groomed waist-high hedges with flaming torches set at regular intervals. The house itself was spotlit, its perfect symmetry making it look like a cut gemstone against the night. She was glad for their host that it wasn't raining. To go to all this trouble and have that perfect vision smudged and blunted by a typical Glasgow drizzle would have gutted her if it had been her party. As if. She stifled a snort of derision. She smoothed her sheer scarlet dress over her thighs. She'd gone way over budget in that new Italian designer boutique in the merchant city, but it would be worth it if she made the right impression on the right people tonight. If she could market herself so well, then surely they'd have to realise she should be given a role where she could market their business with the same flair. The year they were about to enter was being boosted as the homecoming, heralding the upcoming referendum that would sweep Scotland out from under Westminster's boot and usher in a new, independent Scotland, a land of opportunity, equality and social justice for all, or so they promised. But Fruch House wasn't her home, not by any stretch of the imagination. Now she was on the threshold, she was definitely feeling stage fright. What if she looked tarty, or lumpy, or just plain? So many ways she could blow it. The taxi drew to a halt, and she fumbled with the catch on her new evening bag. She handed the driver a 20, waited for the change, then realised he was going to make her ask for it. She'd planned to give him a 2 quid tip. Him expecting a fiver was taking the piss. But tonight she'd left meek in the bathroom mirror. "I'll take my change," she said briskly. He turned to face her, a sneer on his thin lips. "What's a few quid tip to the likes of you?" "My bus fare to my work next week," she snapped, holding out her hand. "Come on, you're not the only working stiff here tonight." He grumbled something under his breath, then counted out 10 50-pence pieces. She had to cup both hands beneath the cutout in the partition to prevent them falling to the floor. She absolutely wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of seeing her scrabbling on her knees for her money. She shovelled the coins into her bag and said, "You have a good new year when it comes." Before he could find a withering response, she was out of the cab and walking with every appearance of confidence up the wide stone steps. They led towards imposing, glossy black doors, thrown wide for the evening. 2 beautiful youths in glittering silver bodysuits held trays of champagne cocktails to greet the new arrivals, and she swept in alongside a trio of perfectly groomed young women on impossibly high heels. She recognised one of them, an actress one step up from a non-speaking part in half a dozen minor Scottish TV dramas. It looked like she'd had a nose job since she'd last been a murder victim on River City.